Play welcome. I'm Steve. Mark's around. Say hi, Mark. He's not around. There's Bandit and an Oscar's right here. So we got a full house today. Welcome to SmokeySteveAndMarc. Welcome or welcome back. And happy Sunday. Having a little bit of dinner, a little bit of a dine-in. We met earlier this week to discuss Our Fair Lady and have some grub, but it being Sunday, having a lazy one around the house today. Just a hot handful of chores here and there. My parents were laying low today. They didn't come to visit, so we are sitting around trying to stay cool and having some sort of version of breakfast for dinner. I had scrambled eggs. We had leftover bacon. I had some jasmine rice from my congee or whatever that I didn't cook all the way, and then I had like half of a bagel left. So that's what I'll be nibbling on. And I can't believe these cats are all over me. They usually aren't. We'll move these up. So, Smith, hello. How are you? Trying to get a good position here. Squirrely, hello. Mr. McPhoebs, hello. All's going pretty well, actually, Mr. McPhoebs. It's going pretty good today. Thanks for asking. It's so nice to be able to say, yeah, you know what? Things are good. They're fine. Hey, Mick, how are you? Hey, Shelbo. Try to do good with these glasses. I don't know what to do with all these animals. Mark would know what to do. Well, so goes, I guess. So it goes. So I hope everyone had a good weekend. We're going into the week now. It's toasty here today, but we're supposed to get some thunderstorms. It had already stormed once, so the garden was already watered. So now Mark can chill out and just play. He doesn't have to. It's like chop wood, carry water. Chop wood, carry water. It's just, the life of a monk, I guess. So he's been able to take it easy breezy, and he took it easier today. Like I said, Mom and Dad didn't visit, so we were just chilling out, which was fine with me. I did have a chance to... Hello, Thunderbird! I wasn't sure if I was going to come on because we had come on just the other day, but that was sort of a surprise one, and this is the usual one. And we talked more about Foodie on that one because of her shenanigans. And certainly she's fair game here. But also just to be able to sit and eat. Usually this time of the day, Mark's out on the porch doing something. Though I said we're supposed to be getting storms, so... yeah, Smith, I have lost some weight. I've lost about 30... I'm almost into Wonderland. I think I'm about 199. In the recent period prior to that on the channel, for the previous year or so, I probably had been like 230 or 235, 240, something like that. But within the last about 6-7 months, pretty much just years, in the beginning of the year, I started losing some weight. Thank you. I have cheekbones. Who knew? So there's that. It wasn't for a lot of intentional reasons. It wasn't necessarily unneeded. But not unwelcomed. Mixed feelings. At any rate, I have collarbones and cheekbones again, so we'll see how that goes. Feeling fine. I'm keeping down bacon. As long as I can keep down some bacon, we're good. You like my co-host? This is Bandit, and in case anyone's new, you've never met Bandit before, there's like whole chunks of the channels that are like cut off from each other. So some people who just hang out or do lives or do the foodie stuff have only ever heard of the cats, like they're Bigfoot. There goes one. You gonna follow him? Okay. He's gonna stay right there then. Yeah, he likes Mark more than me. This is surprising. I think he likes you guys more than he likes us. Because when the camera goes on, he used to run. For years, he would run with the camera on. Now it's like, he gets all excited. He gets all ready to preen. Looking like you're not looking. He's gonna claw my eyes out, wait till you see. I always play that. Oh, he hates me. No, he hates me. He'll hurt me. I've never seen him. Neither of them have ever intentionally hurt me to the point where I needed like a stitch or anything. A few little scratches here and there, but. So I couldn't decide. I was listening outside and I thought I heard fireworks and I couldn't decide if it was a wedding in Syria, the first day of hunting season, or New Year's. in the hood. I can't. This episode of her still going on is ongoing with her in Syria now. She had another medical event. You know, she was starting to have a medical event, stopped having the medical event. She came back and she's been just kind of sitting around doing nothing. She made herself essentially extremely sick while she was out of town by binging for days on end, which probably fucked with every one of her already broken systems. And she came back and she was still sick. You know, the doctor said she has bronchitis and she's sick with this or that, whatever. I almost kind of don't care what she's sick with as long as she's sick, because she did the shit again with the kid. The community post with the kid again, Sasa, the little girl who I'm sure her mother signed a release. It's all on the up and up that this rando albino white woman who comes through town on a carriage decides that she's going to pay her way through the village, and I don't get it. I don't get it. Used the poop bags up those last week. They lasted pretty bad. Oh, I'm so sorry, Shell Bell. You want to box? Oh, the doggy stuff. Okay. I'm so sorry to hear. Fur baby deaths are a tough one. They're a tough one. But obviously she's standing out there. So it's not news that she's gonna stick out. The side eye must be phenomenal. Like absolutely phenomenal. That she must be receiving while she's there. And I know she kind of keeps her head forward and down and tries probably not to look. Because people will stare. For a lot of reasons. But there's like 5 reasons to stare at her now. So, you're a good boy. He'll be on the Rainbow Bridge. I always worry about when, shh, you know, so we just talk like it's never going to happen. Ever, ever, ever. I didn't contemplate that when I had a cat that, or a dog that something would happen to it. So, hey Foxy, how are you? Hey Annie. So the charity scam apparently continues. Those photos that were put up where Chantal was allegedly hustling to get money for tuition, supplies, and school needs for the special needs girl that is somehow akin to Salah's family. And she collected said money, said it was from one large donor, and then proceeded to spend a whole lot of time out of the country spending money on luxurious things. If she had that much to spend on herself, she could have solved this little girl's problem or something. Or she could have, written a petition to a international organization, not necessarily just pass the digital hat and promise on your word to take care of it. It's sketchy because it's sketchy. Someone, first of all, like a really upstanding person who felt moved in a moment to do something like that would find a better way to do it. Any idiot can fill out a GoFundMe and at least try to wash your hands a little bit so it's not so filthy. But that doesn't seem to be a concern. And now, with our friend is going to be back putting more photos up of our friend who's in school. Schooling is free in Syria. I think she is depending, like she did in Kuwait, on a lot of people's knowledge gap about what local resources might be or what local culture might be, that kind of thing. To my understanding, Salah gave them money first and they're just recouping the cost. Yeah, but that was the version. Well, the prepay, and then they got it back. So she donated, and then you're donating to Chantal to congratulate her for doing the good deed of giving away some of Salah's money. The prepaid was the flight. Did they prepay her hotel stay when she went away too? Because it seemed like she came back earlier than originally I thought she was going to. But if it was a prepaid stay that Salah had prepaid. They're all such good boys, aren't they? And good girls. There's good girls. I don't have any female pets. I don't know if it feels emotionally any different. But I don't have any lady pets. Unless you have any secrets. Nothing. So. Yeah, the almost died bull. Well, okay, so I couldn't walk from here to the washroom I bet you could make it from here to the fridge, couldn't you? Couldn't make it from here to the washroom without I had to catch my breath. And Salah's onto this bullshit. I mean, I'm sure he has been, but it's to the point now where it's being spilled onto camera, where he knows that she makes shit up for attention or for distraction. Perhaps better for distraction, not necessarily attention. It's not that she always wants the attention brought back up to her, it's that she doesn't want it on something specific, so she'll point it that way. I almost died! Crickets. Did anybody? Nothing happened. She's fine. She ate herself sick. And she's a cockroach, so she'll plow through. I don't think with her current medical problems that she's getting the help she needs there. And she defends to us how high-end and how high-tech and how well-serviced the medical care is there, and then turns around and tells the doctors, I'm not leaving yet. I need to be here in the hospital longer. I might have a bad reaction. So while she tells the doctors that they're third world cracks and don't know anything, she'll tell the rest of us that these are international scholars who've been from all around the world. God bless anyone doing work in Syria at the moment. There's many other places where there's holes where there needs to be humanitarian stuff filled in, and medical care being one of them. So good, good, good. But that would be one more humanitarian aid for who? Not for Sasa. They need two of them for Chantal. Because when the time comes to flee from tyranny, she won't be able to. I think she'll actually get in with one of his friends and, like, she'll find someone better than Sala. More well-connected. Maybe a little more mature. She doesn't have a track record of being faithful. Which could account for any activity she did in Qatar or otherwise, so... Yeah, the little thumbnails that Chantal was showing, it was a little girl, you know, again, with the table, with the stuff, and look at how it's so sickening. It's so sickening. Like, a normal person would not double down on an already bad character and say, you know what, I don't really care what this looks like. I know I'm doing the right thing. So I'm going to continue to put things out there that make me look questionable and shady. And, like, I have an inappropriate sense of, like, where you would share photos of children and where you wouldn't. I don't know. YouTube isn't really the place for it. I don't think. I don't see why. Who's interested? No one wanted to see this. No one believes what she says about how the girl is doing anyway. Double down, Joan. If you don't like me, I'm gonna make you hate me. Brynhilde. What? She's going to set up her little snack hut now in the compound. She'll have a little space with air conditioning and a door that shuts, and she can just do what she does every other place. Ignore any sense of accountability to the people she's living with. To clean, to cook. She'll cook once in a while, trash the kitchen and make everyone sick, and then say that she does everything. So, this girl started as rule number 1. Yes. She doesn't understand, like, the collectivistic kind of cultures. Like, for all the beating over everyone's head that we're all a bunch of, like, ignorant hicks who live on white bread and cheese whiz, that she's somehow out there living this more and more civilized life. But she doesn't know much about the makeup of, like, families and how things work together. Or she didn't think how she would be inserted into it. She has this, well, I'm a Western Muslim. That's like diet Muslim, apparently. Like, that means that she's not really Muslim. She's only as Muslim as she wants to be. You know, she's like a Canadian revert. You know, it's not like she was really from the Middle East. So, she's, as soon as her long flowing hair pops out of that hijab, the tats come back out and we'll be back to our girl again. Because she's got to know, there's no money in being this modest. Her money is in messy, and this is fucking with her messy. This isn't messy like messy life, flighty girl stuff. This is messy like charity fraud? For food? I don't know. Yeah, she thinks, I like having people over. I think a lot of people like having guests over. And you don't necessarily have to be a huge family number of siblings are to do that. People are coming. Well, Salah's the man. Salah's big man. He rolled into town on big woman and big money. So now Salah gets to do what Chantal used to like to do, which is take credit for something they didn't do. So he gets to flash around like he's the man in the village. You could hear her. It was like, oh, the little kids are screaming over the walls. Salah, Salah, Salah. Like he's the hero. He's come to fix everything. And she, the great white hope, comes along with. I wonder if the rest of the folks in Salah's family will, like him, take what they need and leave the rest with her, if you know what I mean. Like, they'll keep her around, but she's not at death's door. She just wanted a distraction. Smoke bomb. Disappear. Stage left. Yeah, after the clots and the bronchitis, we're smoking. We're smoking. Doctors don't know what they're talking about. Or maybe they do. I don't know. Who knows? I'm gonna go on that grape fast again. When I heard that grape shit come up, I think the last person to mention it was me, probably about 4 years ago. But I know Shell Bell. I know she's like a little dim about it. That's okay. But the delusion of hearing gunfire close by, that Salah identifies as gunfire, and his reaction to it is different because his experience of it is different. So she looked slightly worried. You know, I'll give it to them keeping her calm if she is worried off camera. But then hearing children screaming, and she's like, oh yeah, they're like fireworks. They love them. I'm like, I can't imagine what, like, her blood sugar, yeah, 400 in Kuwait. She said now it's like in the 180s, so she's doing good. That grape fast had to do, there was a psychic component. There was a medium who wrote a diet book that was channeling diet secrets of some sort, and this loosely tied into a fast that involved eating grapes and lemons. I remember the lemons because this lasted about a day and a half. When I first came onto Chantal, it was about 2017, maybe 2018. And she was doing fasts and smoothie fasts and different challenges. She'd go out and binge, and rather than promise like a new weight loss thing that would be like a lifestyle change, she'd go on another, you know, cheap little diet thing. Fuck it up, lie about what she's eating. And then she started getting caught on camera and coming honest about lying. Well, she acknowledged that she was caught lying. Let's not confuse that with honesty. She acknowledged that she was caught lying. I think she thinks when you've been caught lying and you like, if you admit it, that it's the same as telling the truth, because it's not like you got away with it. I would be fascinated. Her moral center. I'd be so curious to sit and have coffee with it. Oh, she could never. No, she's doing Outward Bound, Syria edition. It's going to be like Biggest Loser. Put everyone on the scale, and everyone else is not 3 times the size. I do wonder, I mean, addicts will find your fix. I mean, I found alcohol when I was in jail. You can find what you want if you need it bad enough. She's finding fried chicken. She's finding pizza. She'll move heaven and earth if she has to get it. And she'll treat her husband, errand boy, chauffeur, translator, kept man. This is how, you know, they justify his income from her, that he's escorting her kind of around. No, I don't get it. I don't know. Isn't sneaky? I put up a community post like an hour ago, Christine. Usually on Sundays, we've been checking in with like a little bit of dinner. Usually at 4, sometimes 6. We just checked in earlier this week because there was something ridiculous worth mentioning. And of course there is again too. There's more despicable shit. That could be a name of her second channel. Despicable shit. Yeah, she's just biding her time with like these shitty pizzas until she can build up to another trip. Like she went out for a good binge when she was in Qatar, and now that'll hold her, and she'll never want to do it again. And it's like a straight bender, you know, just get on a plane and go somewhere and indulge in all your vices behind closed doors with no audience. I'm telling you, she probably had something close to a sexual experience as soon as that door shut and she cracked open the first bag. That sense of freedom of all my vices have been taken from me, And now I can have all of them all at once with no one watching. And so she did. And so she ate more than most people I think would even imagine someone like her would eat. So Erica, what's up? What's up? Jambalaya? I like jambalaya. I'm having rice with meat in it. That's not really jambalaya. We're not known for our jambalaya here in Pennsylvania. It doesn't come up very much. So, how long will she tolerate Sala disrespecting her in front of the audience? The cap with the forehead. Yeah, that was wild with the water. She'll go for a little while. She let Natter do it for a little while. Because I still think she feels like in her head she's running the show, so she'll let a certain amount of things go. But if he gets a little too out of pocket, she'll make sure on camera he's put back in his place. She has her whole code for how to do that. There's this whole secret subtext of language of how she can humiliate a man in so many words. And then off camera probably gets spoken to. Of course she would trade dignity for a man. Now, I can't blame her, but I mean, I've done similar shit. Now, I never moved to Syria, but I've followed guys around that didn't really like me very much to the end of the earth, hoping that loyalty would mean something to them. I think she thinks, well, who's been there? Who's been there for you this whole time? I'm here with you. I'm your wife. He didn't ask for her loyalty. He said, don't come. As part of his loyalty, he said, leave me the F alone so I can have something like a life before you ruin this one too. And she came back 5 days early to do that. So. Oh, I don't think she's a drug mule. Though, have you ever seen Locked Up Abroad? Sala being sick of it is hilarious because he's in the background doing the same short-toned kind of selfish. You clickbait. You clickbait me. He knows what's up. For anyone who questions his, okay, so maybe it took him 3 years to get there, but I've known men dumber who've been with women who are treating them poorly longer. But he has apparently put together that in some sense she just lies and exaggerates stuff and tries to manipulate people's behavior by faking health concerns or feigning grave illness or anything like that. So, I can't believe he's still here. Until this Sal's going to have to put up with her. But like I said, as soon as she has her own little cooled off space, him throwing water was a riot. Oh, he does this to me all the time. Oh, sure he does, honey. He throws water at me. It really cools me off. She got that out 3 seconds before she knew he was going to throw something at her, so she can make it seem like, oh, it's part of a little thing we do. Like he always hides my glasses. He always locks the door so I can't get in the bathroom. All these little passive-aggressive, abusive things, and she talks about them like it's foreplay. And no one's going to say boo if, let's say, Sala went the alleged route Natter had when they became, when the relationship became allegedly abusive. Would Sala? I don't know. Cultural relativism says I'm supposed to turn my head. If she gets out of pocket, that's that. But in real time, I don't want to see anyone beat up, no matter what their religion is or how awful of a pig she is. I don't want to see her get beat up by her husband or anybody else. But man, could I could set the scene for it so easily. I could see it happening in the kitchen. It could happen in the car. It could happen after she stopped. She's also continuing to show off her money. And the car. And here's the cash. And holding things up. Not smart. Don't things like kidnappings happen? Like, I think if I was in a rough spot and there was this really, really rich white woman down the street and crime was high and hope was low and I needed to get what I could just to get by, that she spends more on lunch than I'd make in a month, and she might become a target for something. That's real. That's realistic. And who knows to what end Sala could defend her. We all know she can't run, so he's going to have to bunker down. Losing her breath on the way to the bathroom. And the only reason she knows is because it's the only fucking time she got up was to go to the bathroom. She could have been short of breath for days. She hasn't stood up. Like, probably for any meaningful amount of time since she got off the plane. She's utilized handicap services. Just a leech on resources. I think Chantal could be easily disappeared. I think she could go off grid and people wouldn't find her. Not even for the sake of a good mystery, like, you know, whatever happened to her? Oh, I don't care, I never liked her anyway. Could she be so hated that even if she really did disappear, nobody would care? I think they'd be curious. But she spent 3 years in a new lifestyle, in a new region of the world, new values, new attitudes about money, new attitudes about all sorts of other things. Thank you, Nacho. We're feeling a little slim. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's all bone and fat. I wish I was working out, but soon. We'll get to there soon. I'll tighten up eventually. Somewhere around 50, that skin will tighten up. Not so much, not so much, not so much. But I can see it. She'll have her little snack hut with the AC and the fan. She'll have to buy more solar panels, or maybe a house of her own with just one giant thing so she can run the electronics nonstop over and over and over, the government and stuff, plus what they have. I can't imagine what they must, like, the side eye. I couldn't believe. And what they must have thought of her, like, getting up and leaving and coming back, leaving on her own without her husband and her family. I don't know if they have the resources or the interest, you know? What if she's a spy? What if she's a plant? What if she's a drug mule? You know, there's so many other... All of her documents look so shady. Like, I traveled here with this person and that person alone, and then every 90 days for the last 3 years I've been, you know, flying this way or that way. I wonder what kind of suspicion, if any, it does drum up on, you know, activity on her passport. She waves that Canadian passport like it's keys to the kingdom. Like she can open any door in the world with it. All she has to do is flash it. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you? Mm-hmm. So, I don't see this going on. I don't see this going much longer. As far as, you know, people said, oh, she'll be back in Qatar in a week. I'm with you. I think it's going to be that quick. All she's going to have is one bad mood, one little snit, and it'd be the right kind of hot outside for her to turn around and throw it all away again. And then she'll put herself in a position where he'll be begging her. She'll tell us. He's begging her to come home, to their family, that she's wanted there, that she's needed there, that she shouldn't stay in Canada anymore. After they've asked her to leave, she'll tell us they begged her to stay. Because that's Chantalese. That's how that works. They're all looking at her like, who brought her? She dropped the coffee. And I mean, posited against the other women who are there, and children, she probably looks lazy. And if she doesn't claim to be sick, they're going to say, well, then why the fuck else can't you help? Why do you look like that if you can walk? Why do you look like that if you don't have any health problems? So she better damn well come up with some to explain it away. Otherwise, she's just disabled because of her eating habits. I know. A whole bunch of women come in. They did in days what we couldn't do in weeks with Salah and I. What could she do? What is she going to do? Yes, Joan, the money is, I think, the only thing she's bringing into it. She's nothing but a burden. Whatever she was providing, she could have done it from elsewhere because Salva said, don't come. So whatever she was doing for him, she could have done it from further away and is choosing to be wherever she is at the moment. She was not initially welcome. Don't come is not ambiguous. That's not come if you want to. It'll be a show of love if you come. I'll think more of you and our relationship if you come over. He said, don't come. You know, egg all over her face, just to, you know. And I bet her coffee's awful too. She's probably like, do you guys have a Keurig? I usually just go to Starbucks. Watching the kids. She's watching the kids like she would watch kids in the West. Hi guys. Oh look, that's so cute. Don't eat that. And play on her phone the whole time. She'd be the same kind of babysitter as she'd be mother, as she'd be anywhere. She doesn't like children. But the children probably won't try to speak with her. She can just make baby noises and all that kind of stuff. No, she doesn't like kids. There was a blink where I thought maybe she'd be kind of hurt because she had the hysterectomy, so she can't have. And I suspect, though I don't know, I'm not a woman. I'm guessing that even if I didn't want to have any kids, having the ability to have them being taken away would be a dig. It'd be like, well, now it's not even my choice. It's my choice to not have them, but now it's like not really my choice. And I blinked on that with her for a second, but otherwise, the idea that she can't have kids, she doesn't like them. She doesn't care. She didn't seem broken up about it herself. I read into it more than she said it. So, I don't know. She probably just sat around, dicked around like she was babysitting. Because all the kids were probably staying inside. She went out to hang laundry. We did learn that. Steph, I can't imagine what they would think. As I said, I can't imagine when she comes in to sit and then left and came back. And for what? Yeah, knowing you're not welcome and still, like, kind of swallowing your pride and staying, but, like, where else is she going to make a stand for family? The closest thing she has to family is this guy who's, like, running away from her. How much more of an ungodly situation can he put himself in that she won't try to follow? I mean, maybe he'll get himself arrested or something, but... Someone was trying to imagine short Chantal. That's all as long. Yeah. Oh, I was thinking that. How is she going to hang his big tall outfits? She's 5 feet tall. He's 6'3". Those big, long, like, handsome-looking things that make the guys look like they're 8 feet tall. And she's no kind of, like, I don't want to say she's no kind of housewife, but there's very different and fewer expectations. Hey, Yvonne. For her than there is elsewhere, than there is in other relationships. Even though she was, you know, pretending to be Muslim while she was living in the States, it's Pepe Le Pew. That's exactly what it's like. Like, love me. I'm gonna make you love me. Baby, you'll be famous. Chase you down till you love me. And the fact that he looks put off or kind of nonchalant about her pursuit, she frames to the audience as, well, we're just so tight, we don't even think about it. We're just so in sync, we don't even notice. Right, babe? Right, babe? Right, babe? 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 I don't know, guys. Samantha, hello. Swirly Girl, I agree that she has limited options as far as where she's at now. The last stint in Canada was a mess. She screwed over family members. Even her more distant friends, if they wanted to help her, are not going to move heaven and earth to do it. She can't possibly have the resources she would want to believe she had. If she could buy her way back into Canada, into a small studio, you know, she tried that though. She tried to get a place to live. It didn't work. Remember, she was going to stay a month, and then she stayed like 3 days, and then moved, and then there's a whole bunch of holes in the story. I mean, you always get bullshit with Chantal. That's part of the course. It's rule number 1. But There's a lot more stirred in with it. But you gotta, like, yeah, you gotta burn a lot of bridges so that your next best prospect is chasing the marriage scammer that you won't let go. I don't know. It is a different world. It is a different kind of place, certainly where she is. But I would think, you know, technology connects people all over the place, and everything is forever online. There's definitely people who are within her circle. Somebody's got a phone, and somebody showed somebody a picture of something. You know, she said she tried to get out ahead of it and said when she moved there, they already knew all about her. Her version of events is that they knew all about her. LA! I was like, live and breathe, how are you? So this was not news. They knew what kind of person she was, that she had already broke the ice. They knew what kind of person she was, and they left her alone with the children? I don't think so. You would not leave Chantal alone with a dozen kids unsupervised. That's probably where she cooked up the telethon dream. Man, if I could get 1,000 per kid. Seriously, Chantal. I think, from what it sounded like to me, we had bacon and eggs and rice and bagels and soda. It's a family home. My understanding, to get my head around it, is a family home, Salah's family. So she says by default she's welcome there. Yes, by default Salah's life would be welcome there. So they're really playing that obligation card, I guess, and they're living in this place. So it's not Salah's place, but Salah gets to play the man because all this change is happening now that he's there. And Chantal does not want to be one of the other Muslim housewives. She wants to be Queen Bee and have the other women serve her as well as all the other folks and each other and the children. Chantal has no children. You think that would give her more free time? Or maybe they think she wants to spend more time with the kids because unfortunately she doesn't have any. How sad. She doesn't see it maybe the same way as, look, if I wanted kids, I'd have them. Keep your kids away from me. Their read of her behavior and what they think her motives are must be fascinating. To start from such a different playbook and to look at that and be like, that's how. And I have to think, I don't necessarily know that if I was Syrian, born and raised, and I had access suddenly to Chantal's money, that I would leave. But I would live my life, I think, a little differently. I don't think it would look so much like that. Mm-mm. She's not. She doesn't have it. She doesn't have it in her to. Hello. She doesn't have it in her to be honest. There's too many versions of the truth as far as she's concerned, and because of that, she doesn't remember who she told what to. She gets lost in the 100-yard stare when she's coming up with the lie on the spot. So. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if she looks like a hypocrite to us, sitting there smoking after she just made all this big stink about being dramatic and how no, I'm not dramatic. It was a bad thing. That blah, 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 blah. She knows she's required to not just seal around all the place and eat everything in sight. She has to share. That's the point. They have to share. That's what family is about. Otherwise, you just have a hostage instead of a husband. You have this property-esque thing of like, he belongs to me, he owns me, and I own everything around him. Everything that happens to him has to go through me because I'm paying for all of it. But that's a closed door discussion behind closed doors because Chantal gets off on humiliating men. And if she thought she had the vocabulary to do it, she would probably try to humiliate Salah in front of his family because it gives her leverage, it gives her power, it gives her an extra up. She likes having that in all of her relationships. Right now, she's Queen Bee because she's married to the man who's handling everything. And everyone should be grateful for everything Salah and her are doing over there. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the whole, you know, the 1-800 number to flash across the bottom of the video. Just send it to PayPal, friends and family. You don't want people tracking it, they'll just want a cut of it. Mm-hmm. Mm. So that goes. Of course they do. Everyone there is, I'm sure the first day they're like, like, total. They look at each other and they all know. He wouldn't, Barbara. I don't think he would go for it. There's just different expectations she's not meeting, and she thinks that she can kind of squeak by expectations, by those expectations of her, like she does others from other places. But she has different playbooks that she uses in different places to kind of get one over. Usually she can play the money card because she has money coming in. She also thinks she's pretty smart. And just because someone doesn't speak English doesn't mean they're stupid. So just because they're smiling at you doesn't mean they're idiots. It's quite possible that, much like Sala, they speak more languages than you. Oh, no, I didn't mention the awkward, but yeah, when she was eating, someone popped in. There's not enough to share. I don't know. Well, she's finding out. She's finding out. Now she either has to say, this is what I wanted, I knew this is what it was going to be like, and I wanted it, and shut up and leave me alone. And she's got to double down on it. Or she's going to have to turn around and say, you guys are right. I wasn't built for this. I'm not built for this. I don't want to be here. I don't like the sand. I don't like shitting, and I don't like any of it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure none of them have the time of day for her. And if she wasn't paying some bill here or there, she's a lump. She's a load. When you watch Naked and Afraid and you see the one person is like 6'6", 220 pounds, solid muscle, former Marine, you know, speaks 5 languages, and then you see the other person they're partnered with who's like, you know, 5'7", a solid 230 pounds, doughy, has first aid training. And they pair them together then to see if it's all going to work out. Chantal is as ill prepared as that for anything else. You like eating food watching Naked and Afraid. I don't think I thought about liking it or not liking it, actually. I don't think I thought about whether or not I like eating while watching naked people. I can imagine being hungry and they sit around starving. Like, they'll do clip shows from Naked and Afraid you've seen where they'll talk about how hungry they are because those folks, in theory, go 21 days on the regular show with minimal to no eating depending on how they hunt or how they don't hunt. There was plenty of them where people split a garter snake in 3 weeks and that was it. You know, and there's never been anyone as big as Chantal on a show like that because it's not safe. The unexpected, hi, oh, hello. Our fair lady. Well, the money is supposed to make up for it. The money is supposed to make everything else forgivable, too. So not only does the money make it worth it, you're supposed to agree with her that her money makes it worth it. She's moving in with the assumption that you are going to be okay with this because she's going to cover the cost of X, Y, and Z. And so you're going to have to be okay with it. And if you explain at any bit that you don't feel like you're okay with it, hey, Panda, if you don't think it's a good thing, then you can go. If you don't care about our family, then you can just go. No, I don't want unexpected guests to come over. I kind of like my own spot. But I wouldn't have a 3-axis personality shift just because someone like opened the door. I don't imagine that's what they thought he was going to bring home. He's going to go to Kuwait and he's going to go away to school, and with any hope he'll come back home, married and in love, and here she is. Yeah. If she doesn't lose weight in Syria, she'll die. There's not enough health care to keep the person that sick that long in the community. She needs regular, frequent hospital medical care, combinations thereof. So, yeah, she finds her fast food. She'll find her fix. I found booze in jail. She'll find a buffet in Syria. She'll find it, you know. So, there is a hell, and she'll find it if she has to. So, I don't know. Um, yes, LA, we ate the crockpot pork chops. They were very good. Yes, Foxy Bandit is here keeping us company tonight. He actually came out to share in the festivities. A welcome mat that said, "Did you call first?" I like that. If texting, I would have been all about texting when I was much younger. That texting, you could always text on a cell phone, if I recall. It was part of like your data plan. But we're talking about like 2001 when those like Nokia phones with the really, really hard antenna, the ones that would poke you in the ribs, or you'd sit on your keys and sit on the antenna of it and it would hurt. Those. And they would send texts, but everyone was like, well, why would you text somebody if you can call? For family, my door is always open. You know what? Vibe, that's almost everybody. That's a lot of people. Unless you have like definite burned bridges or some sort of pre-existing boundary, you know, I wouldn't say to anybody, come by. Don't come by, you're not welcome, you know. They did not come by today, LA. They stayed home. Mom and Dad were having one of their cars, the alternator needs some work done. So they each have a car, but my dad was using one for work and Mom has hers that she uses, and so they laid low today. Just as well because it was thunderstorming and it's about 90 degrees. So no. Who's worse, Foodie or me for watching? Hey, I've done other stuff in the last 7 years other than just watch Foodie Beauty. She hasn't done much else other than this. And she got on a few airplanes, which is one of the only reasons when she talked about thinking she had a clot or her grave illness. I'm like, well, they say on 600-Pound Life, and I'm sure someone smarter than me can Google it, if you have clots like that, you really shouldn't be flying up and down all the time like that. Those rapid, because you could throw a clot, you throw embolism. And she's had them before. So, just like anything else, if she does drop dead in the middle of Syria, she's going to be somebody else's problem. Same as if she was alive. Somebody else's problem. Global defender of decency? Oh, God. Puke. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't even know. Where are we at now? August? She's doing... I'm trying to think. She's doing... Global offender. I stand corrected. You're right. Offender. You are correct, ma'am. Bandit. Bandit. The people, they love you. You want to say hi? It's bath time. He can't be disturbed, I guess. I suppose. So. He's a good boy. Yeah, but for real, she brought up the kids stuff again today in the community post, so she needs more talking points, she needs more activity, she needs more of that stuff going on. That's fine. Where are we at in the month? About halfway through. YouTube payday should be coming up soon. Rather soon for her. So we'll see what happens if she can get to the money when she needs it. Notice Bandit chooses to be new. You're good people. Julia doesn't... Well, yeah, Julia hates Foodie. Julia does hate Foodie Beauty. But to be fair, Foodie doesn't only needs her when she needs her. She's like a social prop. She's like a prop for the video. She's like, oh, don't forget my cat. Don't forget my glasses. Don't forget my hijab. It's just another thing to hold up in front of her and say, look, this is a reason to give me money too. Tell everyone in the audience they're jealous because you barely have to work and you can do whatever you want with your life. And then have to grovel for money for all these important causes. I think you guys should give money to them too. Did you give money to them? That's not the question. We gave privately. Well, we gave ahead of time, so we're paying ourselves back with what Sala already paid now. That is shady bullshit. That's where the lie happens. Sala paid them first, and then we're just paying ourselves back with this money. So you give me money that I gave to a charity, and you can feel good like you just gave money to charity. Except I won't give it to the charity, but you'll never know because asking for it voids you from having the access to it. The only people who can know are the ones who don't care and won't ask. Anyone who wants to know, it's suspicious. Anyone who wanted to charge back, she thought it was, don't go ahead for it. What a brazen, thieving scum. Yeah. She went less more than a few. I'm shocked, LA. I'll put it down. It's been years at this point. But considering what's changed and what hasn't, you know, she's willing to move. She'll go place to place, but she can't be alone. She can be anything in the last 3 years but alone. She can sit in the dirt. She can ride in the back of a Jeep. She can take a 15-hour flight, but she needs to have the promise of either food or a husband at the end of one of these things. Because without either one, she's dead inside. That's her worst kept secret. When she's hungry, she's cranky. You get rage streams. When a guy won't return her phone call, you get rage streams. I don't know. Who am I to judge, right? You know, who am I guess? I'm just some guy with bagels. Day old. Well, I do like egg. I tend to get onion more than egg bagels, but yes, I do. She'll say she misses Julia before Sal. Well, Julia's behavior is probably more consistent, more predictable, and she probably has better bathroom habits. We are doing tomatoes at the moment. It is that time of year, so we have the garden going. I can look out this window and I can see tomatoes in the yard, so we're... You know what, Goals? I think that's a really well thought out theory. I'd put some money on it. I'd have to be guessing at the character of his family. And I see what kind of person he is. Can you pass judgment not to be like, well, kind of when you say, well, if Chantal is such a nightmare, wouldn't her mother, you know, be the cause of that? And can't you pass blame all the way up? But yeah, use her, and then when they're done, she's exhausted her uses, just be done with her. Wouldn't that be the ultimate smack around? That she was being taken advantage of because they saw her as vulnerable. They saw it as what it is. Big, immobile, target bullseye on her back. She'd be dead in a day without anybody else's help. So... Oh, the garden tomatoes are so good. We dry what we don't use so we can make tomato powder, but we have that out there. The carrots are up periodically still. Brussels sprouts, I think, won't be in too long. The cabbages are getting there. So things are coming. They're coming along. We did lose my blackberry bush. It had damage, so it's not going to have any berries this year. When they're redoing the roof, a few roof shingles got thrown off. And when they got thrown off, they landed in the yard and cracked my bush. So it goes. But that's about all I've got for today. I am keeping abreast with Foodie more so now because we're just kind of talking in lives and then popping in. Wait and see. They're the rest of us, Squirrely. We're going to wait and see. So thank you all for joining me tonight, and thank you all for watching. Please hit the thumbs up if you'd be so inclined, and please do subscribe. Hit the notification bell. You'll get alerts when we have new videos and when we go live. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All our contact info is listed below as well. Please feel free to join. We last night had a really good, was it last night? Night before last. We had a members-only live chat. It was really, really cool. So definitely, if you're inclined, please do join. Yes, he has a good coleslaw recipe. I'll make sure it shows up before the summer's over, LA, okay? Thanks for watching. We'll catch up with you soon. Bye.